Okay, let us do some calorimetry. So basically, calorimetry is how you can find out how many calories certain foods have inside of them. So today, we are going to be trying to find out how many calories a crouton has. So the way you can set this up, get an aluminum can, get some water, you're gonna need fire, you're gonna need a digital scale, and we're gonna do some math calculations also. You're gonna need a thermometer. So the first thing I am going to do, I'm gonna weigh my can and then zero it out. And I'm gonna put 100 milliliters of water in the can. So I'm gonna pour 100 milliliters of water in the can. All right, that's 37, 48, 85, 95, 90, okay, 100. So I have 100 milliliters of water in this can. So now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna hook it to this. This is nothing but a hanger. This is basically just gonna be held in place so that I can burn my food. I need to be able to hold it down though. I need something where it's not gonna go away. Something that I can put on it to hold it down so it doesn't move. Let me see. Okay, hopefully that has it stand in place. Okay, so my water is 100, so 1 milliliter is 1 gram. So the water is 100 grams. Next thing what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the thermometer and I'm gonna check the temperature of the water. So right now, the water is still going. Let me see, let me put it back in there. The water is 24.2. So the temperature for my water before is 24.2. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your food source. Let me weigh before I burn it, I need to weigh it. So let me weigh my crouton. This is my crouton. So weigh the crouton. The crouton is 3.6 grams. So the mass of the crouton before the burn is 3.6 grams. All right, so then I'm gonna take my crouton. I have this little dart spirit. I'm gonna use that and I'm gonna put it on there and I'm gonna set it on fire and I'm gonna put it under the can. So I gotta maneuver this can up a little bit. Let me see if I can, because the weight of the water is moving the can. So let me see if I can raise it up higher. I don't want it directly on the can. I want the can a little bit higher, but the weight of the can is pushing it down further. Let me see if I can maneuver it up some. Let me bend the hanger a little bit up and see if that'll help. Okay, I got it. Can you see it? You can't really see the crouton. Let me see if I can move this box over a little bit so you can see the crouton better. So yeah, you should be able to see the crouton now. Okay, so I'm gonna set the crouton on fire. And once I set the crouton on fire, it's gonna start to heat up the water. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. So I've already measured my crouton. It was 3.6 grams before I burnt it. And now let's set it on fire. And you want to let it burn completely until it stops burning. It's kind of taking a while to catch on fire. Okay, there we go. So the heat energy from the crouton is gonna go inside the can and raise the temperature of the water. So we're just gonna let it keep burning until it goes out. So it will eventually go out. So, and we're gonna calculate how many calories is in this one crouton. All right, so it's still going. Let me see if my water. Yeah, the temperature, the thermometer is going, the temperature on the thermometer is going up. It's at like 45 degrees now. And it's steady going up. Now it's going down. Because this is a digital one. I wish I had a regular thermometer. All right, it's almost done. Check the final temperature. Once it's completely done, I'll check the final temperature. And then after it cools a while, I'll weigh the crouton afterwards. All right, so it's okay, so it's done. So now let's check the final temperature of the water. Okay, it says the final temperature is 101.7. So it went up to 101.7. I'm surprised it went up that high. So 101.7, and it started at 24 24.2. Okay, so now that I got that part done, we're gonna have to do a little calculation, math calculation. So this is done. I can move this out the way so you can see it better. So this is done. I'm not gonna need the water anymore. This can is really hot. I'm not gonna need the water. All right, so this is my crouton. Let's measure the crouton real quick. All right, so now the crouton started at 3.6 grams. Now it shrunk in half. Now it's 1.8 grams. All right, so let's do some calculations. So the mass of the water, if it's 100 milliliters, 1 milliliter is 1 gram. So the mass of the water is 100 grams. The specific heat capacity of water is 4.184 joules per grams degrees Celsius. Or you can convert it, because you can just divide that and it'd just be 1 cal per grams degrees Celsius. So if we want to find out what the calories are, what Q is, we just plug all this into the equation. So you would just take 100 times 1, so 100 grams times 1 cal over grams per degree Celsius times, if you got, I don't have a calculator with me because I'm recording, so 1.17 minus 24.2, yeah, 5, 7, that'd be 9, so 77.5, did that look right? Yeah, so times 70, because it's the final temperature minus the initial temperature. So you get 77.5 as the degrees Celsius. So what's gonna cancel out? We got grams up here and grams down here. So the grams are gonna cancel. We got degrees Celsius up here, degrees Celsius down here. So that's gonna cancel. So the only thing gonna be left is calories. So that is what our answer is gonna be in. So it's basically 100 times 77.5. I don't really need, I'm gonna go get a calculator, but I don't need a calculator for that. I can just multiply that. 5,0,0,0,7, 0,0,0,0,0,0,7. Add it all up. 0, 5, 7. So 7,750. So our calories are 7,750. Let me go get a calculator real quick. Okay, so we ended up with 7,750 calories. That's a different type of calorie. That's like heat, that's calories in heat. So you have heat calories, and you have food calories. Food calories, so basically 1,000 heat calories is 1 food calorie, or you can call it a kilocalorie. So you got kilocalories for food. So if we wanted to convert the heat to food calories, all we would do, we would just take our 7,750 calories, and we're trying to convert it to kilocalories, which is food calories. So 1 kilocalorie is 1,000 heat calories. So it's just 7,750 divided by 1,000, and you get 7.75 kilocalories. So that's how many is in basically one crouton. So if the crouton weighed, if we want to know how many calories per gram, we have to go back to how much the crouton weighed. Remember, the crouton weighed 3.76. So all we do is we take our kilocalories, the 7.75, and divide it by 3.6 to get calories per gram. So divided by 7.75, 7.75 divided by 3.6, and the calories per gram would be 2.15. If we would like to know the calories per serving for like the entire bag, so these are the croutons right here. It says amount 20 servings per container, 7 grams. So we would just take this number and multiply it by 7 grams. So 2.15 times the 7 grams, and you get 15.05. So calories per serving. So if we look at the actual calories per serving though, it's actually 35 calories. So if we want to calculate our percent error, how far we were off, just take the actual, so 35 calories, minus what we got, what was 15, and divided by the actual, which is 35, and multiply by 100. So basically 20 divided by 35 times 100 will give us our percent error. So 20 divided by 35 times 100, our percent error was basically like 57.14%. And the reason why is because when we set it on fire, all the heat did not go back into the can. Some of the heat was like sprayed. When we put the can under the fire, some of the heat was spreading all around. So that's why it didn't end up being the 35, the whole 35, it ended up being 15 because some of the heat had escaped in a different direction. But here's you can't hear it on the video, but this crouton is, even though it's dead black, it's still cracking. I can hear it making cracking noises. But that was our calorimetry lab. Try it at home. Make sure you take safety precautions with the fire and the water and everything. More videos coming soon. Trey T out. Peace.